You asked, I answered your Mounjaro Tirzepatide weight loss questions. Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have lost 57 pounds to date in 27 weeks with Mounjaro weight loss. Woo! We're gonna go ahead and dive in. I have a ton of questions from you guys here that I'm gonna answer today. If you have more questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Like you ask, I will totally answer. I do have a free Mounjaro weight loss success checklist in the description, as is a free Mounjaro encouragement group. Totally free. I do have a paid one as well. All are welcome at both tables. Let's dive into the questions. Let's go. Where do you get Mounjaro from? You get it from a doctor or a nurse practitioner, however you get your prescriptions, a nurse practitioner, doctor, and they prescribe a prescription, and then you get it from the pharmacy, a mail order pharmacy. A pharmacy will pick up, or it can get mailed to you. How do you say Mounjaro? I frequently say it improperly. I don't know why. I don't know. It's Mounjaro, like a pickle jar, Mounjaro. And I sometimes say Mounjaro, and that's not right. It's Mounjaro. It's just sometimes my brain goes faster than my mouth does, or vice versa. Next, because I got a ton of questions here. How do you measure your weight loss? Well, I use a scale. I use two methods. Well, three. One is pictures. That's been really helpful for me. If you have not started taking pictures, I encourage you to take a weekly picture. You will be so happy and tickled as you go through. I am so grateful every week I've taken pictures, because I can look back and be like, oh my gosh, my double chin is now not quite as doubly. And then I also use it's a smart tape measure, and it syncs with my scale, and all them sync together. I will link that down in the description, link below. Do you need those? No, but I like that scale that I recommend because it also measures muscle mass. And with any weight loss, not just Mounjaro weight loss or Tirzepatide weight loss, you lose muscle. And so like measuring that, but you can gain muscle too. That's also kind of an oxymoron with it. You can gain muscle if you're doing weight training and making sure you're staying on top of your protein and collagen and things like that. But using those two methods of the smart tape measure with the scale, it's not crazy expensive, by the way. It's not like some $500 scale, although I do have that and have tested that. It's not crazy expensive for both of those. Side effects, Mounjaro side effects. The ones in our group, we have thousands of people. So I've had the privilege of being on, and it truly is a privilege when I say that. I'm not, like, it truly is, to be a part of your journeys, to see the side effects that are common. And I am very much a pattern recognition person. And most of them are gastrointestinal. Constipation, diarrhea, or nausea. I never thought I'd talk about poop so much. If you're having nausea, a couple things. One, there is a ginger chew that people really like in our group. I have not tried it personally just because my nausea doesn't. I have another tactic that I use. I will link that in the description link below. And it's also on our free Mounjaro weight loss success checklist. All of these actually are on that checklist. What I do when I get nauseous, because I'll get pockets, and it depends on the dose, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I will smell my alcohol pads that I use for my injections, and then also I'll pop a mint. So I'm changing two senses, the taste and the smell, and that for me usually gets me out of the nausea, that combination of smell and taste. But if you do have really extreme nausea, there is a prescription that your doctor can prescribe. And I'm not medical, so I don't ever pretend to play any sort of medical advice. I always punt you back to your medical professional. This is not medical advice. It's me talking to girlfriends and guy friends and being a friend, and not like medical advice. So don't ever interpret any of that I say as that, because I have no qualifications in that. I simply have my experience, strength, and hope of what's worked well for me. 57 pounds. Hopefully more, by the way. I just haven't weighed recently. I haven't weighed because for a number of reasons, but I'll be doing a Mounjaro weight loss update shortly. Diarrhea, I encourage you, make sure you take electrolytes. I love Element electrolytes. I will link those down below. They've been very gracious with the Countess of Shopping community to give us 8 free sticks when you buy any purchase from their website, which is so nice. And so I always get my 8 free sticks when I'm buying mine. So for diarrhea, which most people usually don't seem less upset about that one, and more upset about constipation. So with constipation, I have two sources. One is in the Mounjaro checklist, and I'm adding this one. I've been testing them. They're super fiber gummies, and whenever I hear gummies, I always get a little sus. I'm like, is there a lot of sugar added? These don't. It has in there 0 sugars. It's got 4 carbs and 10 calories, and they're 3 gummies. I really like these actually. If you are having some constipation, and I always do encourage, make sure you're having salad or like leafy green vegetables or vegetables to help just keep everything going. If you're having bars or things like that, like getting back to like natural fruits, vegetables, fresh meats, things like that, or frozen meats, like food, not bars. But I like these. They're the prebiotic fiber, helps regulate digestion, gluten-free. I've been taking them. It's flavored raspberry and lemon. I like them. I really like these, and they've been quite helpful. The ingredients are organic chicory root fiber. Is the first. So like I like those. So that's helpful too if you have constipation. So nausea, diarrhea, constipation. Woo! I feel like we should like make a song out of that. Woohoo! Why am I not losing weight? Great question. I would love to help you with that. One is, let's go to the science. Again, I'm not medical, but I do like to read the science. Nerd in me, the nerd comes out of that. Technically in the studies that they've done at the 12.5 milligram level of Mounjaro is when technically there was within these studies where weight loss really started to occur. So if you're having my interpretation of this study, and you can Google this too, by the way, if you're like, what's your source? I don't remember, but I know I saw it in a study. I read it in a study, and that was like, I've been on Mounjaro for weeks and like for a while, months. But the study was talking about how at 12.5 milligrams for Mounjaro, that's when weight loss really kicks in. Before that, my interpretation is it's not going to be as Zuzu's pedals. It's not going to be as so if you're not to that point, and people ask, what do you start with? It's 2.5 milligrams for Mounjaro. Prescription is where you start. This is acid reflux. I get that frequently. Not frequently, but sometimes when I'm talking, and I talk for a living. So I'm on my live streaming set here. So excuse all the stuff around me. So why are you not losing weight? One, it may be, you may be, if you're diabetic or you have insulin resistancy, those are going to make you not lose weight as quickly. Like just facts. So allowing your body to heal with that insulin resistancy and being patient. Two, check your foods. Like, do you legitimately think that you're, if you're taking an honest self-appraisal and you're being honest, you're not having packets of Skittles in between your Amazon Prime Day shows when you're live streaming. That was me literally 2 weeks ago. Like eating Skittles. I'm like, why did I only lose a pound this week? Well, because I was eating Skittles and a bunch of them. If I'm honest, like I was stress eating. And with Mounjaro, it does make you not eat, but there's for me a point of where I can push past that, and it feels awful, by the way. Like when you get to that full point, you're like, ooh, it doesn't feel good. So that could be one. I would encourage you to have a blood panel. When was your last blood panel? Punting you back to your medical source. Have you talked to your doctor or nurse practitioner or whoever prescribes it to you as to why? You should be having that conversation with them of like, hey, this is where I am. Now, some people, when they say, I'm not losing weight fast enough, and they're like, I'm like, how much weight have you lost? And they've lost like a pound a week. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, please don't compare. You'll see in my Mounjaro weight loss playlist here on YouTube, I'm like, oh, I lost 12 pounds in 1 week. Yeah, but you don't know the back end for myself and for other people. Like, was it a big poop? Like, that's so crass and gross, but facts. Did they eat a big meal beforehand? I can guarantee right before I did that weigh-in, I'm sure I binged. Not like I'm that period when I started Mounjaro, I was binge eating frequently. So I was naturally just really puffy with salts and sugars and lions and tigers and bears. So I don't want you to, and that's one of the things is please don't compare. Like, let's go back to what doctors and medical professionals tell us, which they tell us 1 to 2 pounds per week is healthy. So like, can we make that the barometer which, as opposed to like 30 pounds in 1 week? You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost 12 pounds in 1 week, but is it poop? Is it a previous meal during weigh-in? Is it like, what are the other factors going into that? There's a lot that can go potentially into that. So don't compare your apples to other people's apples. Appetite suppression is not happening for me. My answer to that great Mounjaro weight loss question or tirzepatide, is can you titrate up? Have you been having food chatter? Because that's like, when do you titrate up? Which I have a whole video on that too. And a whole video on side effects also in my playlist. So feel free to binge watch all of these. If you're not having appetite suppression, you may need, for me, that's when I need to titrate up. Like if it's coupled with food chatter. That's like my barometer. If I'm hungry again, like, with food chatter, that's when I got to titrate it. That's when I got to talk to my doctor and be like, hey, the food chatter's back and I'm really hungry. Now, sometimes I get really hungry around my cycle, and that's totally normal. And you know what I'm saying? But if you're not having, and it's happening over and over, and this is the thing, is are you rotating to those 3 rotation spots with your Mounjaro injection? Eli Lilly, the manufacturer of Mounjaro, it's the pharmaceutical company, tells us in our literature, we need to be injecting and rotating in 3 locations. Our arm, the back of our arm, and it gives you the picture in the Mounjaro prescription box. Your arm, your thigh, and your stomach. Rotate 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you're having a weight stall or appetite suppression, you probably are just injecting in 1 site, maybe 2, getting that 3rd one in there. There was a study done, and an awesome viewer, and I forget who the viewer was. Thank you so much, by the way, for commenting this, because I do read every comment. I may not comment back, but I do read them all. Was like, hey, Elizabeth, go look up a study on, it showed percentages of what the side effects were with different locations. I could not find the study. I looked last night for 30 minutes. So if you do happen to have that link, you can email me, and my email's in the description link below. I would love to see that study. But it talks about rotation with it for the different side effects on there. But that may be why you're not losing weight or having appetite suppression, is because it's meant to be rotated. Now, on the back of your arm, that was one of your questions of, do I have to have someone else do it for me? Well, Eli Lilly tells us in the literature we should have someone else do the back of our arm. I did it the first time. I didn't read that, and I just did it myself, and I didn't put it in the right spot. It didn't go well for me. That week was not a very good week. Subsequently, after that, the Count does those injections. Man, he was sweating bullets the first time he did it. He's like, I've never injected anyone before. I'm like, you were there for the birth of our children. Like, you can't just stab me with this little needle. He was like so nervous. It's no big deal, by the way. It's really not that big of a deal. Which goes to the pen injection of like Mounjaro. How do you inject with the pen? You hold it. It's going to make these clicking sounds. So it's going to click, and then it's going to click again where you know that it went in. And that's usually at the 9 or 10 second mark. I will have my husband or myself hold it. I'm like, for my husband, I'm like, do not take it off my arm until I tell you to. For me, I'll count 1 Mississippi. Like, I'll count up to like 15 or 20, depending on how footloose and fancy free I'm feeling. And I'll hear the clicks, click, click. Now, one of our viewers asked me, and this is one of the amazing Mounjaro questions, was there was stuff left at the end of the needle. Friends, that's totally normal. If there's stuff left in the Mounjaro pen and on the tip of the needle, that's totally normal. Like, that's totally normal. So don't freak out about that. I know people in our free Mounjaro weight loss success group are like, oh my gosh, I've seen that several times, and I am like, babe, it's totally okay. Like, it's supposed to have leftover on the pen and in the pen. So that's totally normal. When should I take my Mounjaro injection? I take mine in the late afternoon so I can get through work. For me, usually I do get side effects. And so with side effects, it takes me out of work usually. So I plan my work schedule around my Mounjaro injection, like hardcore, about the scheduling components with it, because I am a high functioning, high productivity person. That may not be you, and you may be like, I don't really, like, whatever. For me, I don't want to be out of work if I'm not on air with my live streaming or doing video. Like, I do videos for a living. If I'm not doing that, or if I don't have the energy on camera for doing QVC or these other things, which, by the way, that was one of my questions. I'll come back to it. If I don't have the energy, like, that screws me up. So I do plan my shot to take it in the late afternoon. I take mine on Tuesdays usually, but my days have been getting messed up because of work things. I don't want to be tired when I'm taking it. So last night, for example, I took it at like 9 o'clock at night. So today I'm feeling the side effects. I'm not really tired. Usually I get tired. I'm not really tired right now. My legs are hurting though, which tells me electrolytes, I take them the day before, the day of, and it's really helpful. 1 to 2 sticks. Someone asked, by the way, about the electrolytes causing high blood pressure because it's sodium. The potassium, it has magnesium, sodium, and potassium. The potassium negates that with the high blood pressure concerns. You can read about it on Element's website, but or on the link down on the description link below. It'll take you there. It negates that. So that was one of our great questions. Shortage issues. Oh, let me tell you about QVC real fast. So for QVC, by the way, if you haven't smashed that follow button, make sure you do. For QVC, I made it as a guest host. Yay. But now I have to be picked. People are like, when can we see you on QVC? I have to be picked by brands now. So I'm in this pool. I have to be picked by brands. So I'm hoping in August or September. Fingers crossed. Pray for me. I just finished my sizzle reel, my photos, my bio, all that stuff. And so now I'm in the portal. Now I just need to get picked. So it's like the next layer. So fingers crossed. I loved QVC. I loved being there. If you're nervous, someone was asking about the shortage and then nervous before the shot. Shortage, there is a new shortage for Mounjaro 10 milligrams just got put on the FDA shortage list. If you're watching this later on than when the release date is, which you can see down below, the shortage is now in September 2023 for 10 milligrams. I'm like, great, that's what I'm on right now. 12.5 milligrams had been on the shortage list until July 2023, the end of it, like on back order. And 12.5, 15, they're all, because people, like, we're all titrating up, right? So the beginning dose is 12.5 milligrams available easily, 5 milligrams available easily, but then I'm not sure, I can't remember off the top of my head if 7.5 milligrams is part of that Mounjaro shortage list or not. So I have a whole video as to how to combat the Mounjaro shortage and what you should do for tirzepatide weight loss, like staying on your prescription. You can do the prescription every 23 days. So use those extra days to your advantage. We're not hoarding and we're not stockpiling, but we are being smart with the days that we do fill our prescriptions would be my encouragement. But I have a whole video on that too. Nervous before the shot. Oh my gosh. Literally I was shaking the first time I did my shot. I was sweating profusely in my armpits. Like, and I had prayed. And I came to the realization, either I do this or I'm going to die. Literally is how I felt. That's just me. That's like, so I knew like this was like, I'm an economist daughter, taking a calculated risk, the cost benefit reward for me, putting my chips into this injection of like, what if I have, for me, it was worth swinging the bat. I do tell people, if you, and this was one of the questions, I just want to lose a few pounds. I would encourage you. You do you, but my encouragement, and as if I'm talking to a friend and it's not medical advice and always talk to your doctor, but if I was talking girlfriend to girlfriend in terms of the context, do not take this if you're just going to take it for a couple of months. My doctor phrased it to me, this is a lifelong medication. Studies are coming out. There was a study that was just released today about how people are having really severe, like it slows down your digestion after coming off. Now, these people that they were talking about were completely off. They didn't titrate down. So eventually, I'm sure I'll get to the point of where I titrate down, and the beautiful people before us who share with us about their titrating down, I would love to see in the comments. So feel free if that's you. But people who like go off are having like digestive issues because it makes their stomach slow down. So it's just, this is why I'm like, don't take this unless you plan to take, like that would be my encouragement, which goes along to the next one of, I'm going to go to Mexico to get my prescription. What do you think? And if people like, you do you is always my, like, you do you, as long as it doesn't hurt me, you do you. So if you want to go to Mexico to get, I wouldn't do that. Like, I personally wouldn't do that. That's why there's the FDA in the US. I would go to a different state, or I would travel within the US to try to figure out the prescription. I know it's significantly cheaper. I hear a lot of, and I see a lot of people talking about going to Mexico to get prescriptions. Some other people have talked about going to Canada and things like that. I don't have experience, strength, and hope with that, but my judgment is that doesn't sound really safe to me. I personally would not do that. I would not personally get plastic surgery in Mexico either. There's stories about human trafficking about doing that, and that freaks me out. So you do you, you do you, you do you. But if you're asking for my opinion, that is my opinion. So, and I of course want the best for everybody. Like, you do you. If that's you and you're going to Mexico to get, you do you. If it's not affecting me, I don't like, blessings and prayers to you. I just personally would not do that. I would figure out a way within the system here in the US to figure it out. Are the injections painful? No, I get Botox. So Botox is more painful, and that's not painful, but Botox is more of a prick than this is. This is just like a, it's like if you, like a little, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the worst pain. For me now, it's like a 1.52. I think I'm just used to it, but it clicks and then it clicks again. And that's the sound. FDA approved. It is, as of right now, for July 2023, it's FDA approved for type 2 diabetes. It is prescribed off label. for weight loss, which off-label prescriptions have been done for a long, long time. That's not new. The FDA approval for weight loss should be coming. How we saw with Ozempic, there's Ozempic for type 2 diabetics, and then the FDA approved Ozempic for weight loss, and that's WEGOVY. Same thing. Totally same thing. Just two different packages and two different marketing, two different names. I don't know if that will happen if Eli Lilly with Mounjaro is going to do that, if they will do a repackaging of that. I have heard that it is and it isn't, so I don't know. More to come on that. Someone asked, do prices go up with Mounjaro as you titrate up? My experience is yes. People asked about hair loss. I did a whole video on that. That's in the playlist down below. What I love talking about is collagen. My favorite collagen is linked down below. I did a whole Amazon Live on that. I also do love the Nutrafil. I love their serum and their supplements. Those are linked down below as well. Eating protein is so important. And I would look at bariatric patients from like a decade and a half ago of rapid weight loss. They had that same thing. And so looking at those similar solutions too. Someone asked, what are my supplements I take? I take Nutrafil. I take Element Electrolytes. I'm taking this intermittently, the Bellway, and not every day, but I do like it if I have constipation issues. Probiotics, collagen. I'm missing one. Oh, and a daily supplement. Let's see here. Someone says, I do not have diabetes. Can I take Mounjaro? Yes, it's prescribed off-label for weight loss. Your doctor can prescribe it for off-label. Where else? Okay. What can I eat to lose weight on Mounjaro? I just did a whole 27 Ozempic meal plan ideas, and it's the same for Mounjaro meal plan ideas and meal ideas. On that, I like to do protein, vegetables, and then like fruit or proteins like yogurts or protein and vegetables is kind of my jam. I had graham crackers the other day. Yeah. I'm low carb, but I do have other things like graham crackers the other day. I accidentally left my Mounjaro out. Can I still take it? When I read this, my heart like broke for the person. I'm like, oh my gosh. It can be out at room temperature. I believe it's for 21 days or something like that. It's in the Eli Lilly manufacturer's print off of how many, I'm forgetting off the top of my head. It's a lot. It's like multiple weeks. So if you're not refrigerating it, ideally it's best if it's refrigerated. It cannot be frozen though. That is, Eli Lilly does say if it's frozen, you can't take it. That's when it's a goner. Someone says, what happens if you don't feel the prick of the Mounjaro pen? Excuse me. If you don't feel the prick of the Mounjaro pen, do you see like blood coming out, or do you see where the indentation was? Did you hear the click of like the click, click? That would be my thing. More than likely, like literally I've been doing this for a hot second. I've seen and talked with thousands of people on the internet about Mounjaro. Usually you've taken it. Like you just may be not with the way that the plunger goes on the Mounjaro pen. If you don't feel the prick, sometimes I don't feel it, but I hear the clicks. If you hear the click, click, and if you see, usually then I see like a dot of blood, like a small little dot, that means that it went in. And I usually like push it. I push it intentionally so I know that like it went in. I'm not like jamming it, but I'm just like, there's pressure. I should say there's pressure. Let's see here. Does Mounjaro cause cancer? Now, again, I am not a medical person, but I do look at studies, and I talked about this on Countess of Shopping Instagram, Countess of Shopping TikTok, about how there was a recent study done, and the source, I can cite, I need to go pull it off my Instagram page because I cited the source on my Instagram page and on Countess of Shopping TikTok. But there is a study of showing of how it's actually helping to prevent cancer on there, which makes sense, right? One of our viewers is like, yeah, if you're not ingesting all the sugar, we know that sugar causes cancer. I'm like, that's a very good point. So, but it's showing that it's helping with prevent some cancers. So there's a preliminary studies on that. Could it cause cancer later on down the pike? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, losing 57 pounds, I can only think of the upsides so far for me, having been many, many months in, that like that is amazing for my body, and it's rejoicing. Literally, I was telling my husband, I was like, I've been so happy from taking the Mounjaro injection. Literally, it's been over 6 months now. More than that. I gotta look at how many weeks it's been. I've been so happy because I haven't binged. Really, I have a couple times and it's been very painful because you can't really binge. Or for me, I can't. I'll use my I statements. I can't really binge. And how happy it's made me not binging at night. And then I would wake up feeling like garbage the next day. And so not having that has been so amazing. Like, what a gift. I'm so grateful. What a time is this? Like, I think back to my family that, you know, were farmers. And like my grandma working in the heat here in Virginia, we had a farm, and like a tobacco farm, and working with the tobacco and being in the, like, that just sounds awful. And I'm so grateful for the medical things that we have. And as a woman to live in this day and age, I'm like so grateful, particularly for GLP-1s. Someone says, how can you get your Mounjaro cheap without insurance? You can pay out of pocket. If you have type 2 diabetes, you can use the Mounjaro coupon, and that it makes it around $500 now. There's the other coupon ended a couple weeks back. So this is the new coupon. It's $500 a month. If you can't afford that, for me personally, I would do a side hustle to pay for it, but that's just me. That's how much I love this medication as of right now. I mean, that may be subject to change, but as of right now, I love it so much, and it's been so helpful for me. You could take a compound, the tirzepatide compound. Finding a compound pharmacy. I do not have experience, strength, and hope with this because I do not take a compound, the tirzepatide. I take Mounjaro from Eli Lilly because I want to have that FDA backing behind me of like, I'm putting something in my body. And for me, I don't shortchange on plastic surgery, and I don't shortchange on sushi. I'll coupon and do other things for other, but not for the, and so this falls under that umbrella of like plastic surgery-ish stuff. But it's medical, like for medical stuff, right? Like I want to get the best of the best for me. So I'll scrimp and save. And we really did redo our budget. Do I fully understand the privilege in which that comes with? Absolutely. Like, do not think for one flippin' second that I am not grateful for that. And that I do fully recognize that some people are not in that position. I understand that. Fully. And again, that's why I go back to, I'm so grateful. But we revamped our budget. We moved things around. Like we've been very intentional about that. But I do know the cost now of the health benefits it's going to save me down the pike as well. I'm an economist daughter. The cost benefit analysis of I'm going to pay for it now. I'm going to pay for it later with my health. I'd rather right now try to get some sort of quality of life back with this. And that for me is worth the cost. So going back to how to get Mounjaro cheap with insurance, you could look for a compounding pharmacy. Just make sure that they're doing US testing on it. A compound pharmacy, I was like, how do you know if you're not a scam? Because that's the thing, which it happened to me today, by the way. If you're on my free Mounjaro weight loss success check group, someone was in there was like soliciting people on the side to DM them. No, like if you're in my private group, always tag me on that, by the way. And by the way, if you join the group and you don't answer all the questions, that's why you're not approved to go in the group. If something is flagging the system. I have healthcare people who are making the financial decisions for healthcare companies to screw you, trying to join our group. And I'm like, no. So if you do ever not get approved for the group, you can also always email me. I've had several people do that and be like, you've declined me for the group. And I'm like, A, you didn't fill out the questions, or B, and because I don't want, like, I don't need to have 10 million followers. Like literally, I don't need that. I love our community, and I'd rather be tight knit with people than have like, I'd rather go deep instead of wide. Some Mounjaro weight loss groups want to go wide. They want, oh, I have 100,000 people in my group. I don't know. I'd rather have people I connect with and I'm really having a connection with than that. So for the group, just to give context on that. Someone was getting solicited on the side about the compounding pharmacy, and that's the point that I'm trying to make, of making sure that they're doing testing on it. And how are they shipping it to you, right? Like if they're shipping it, is there dry ice that it's getting? Like how is it getting shipped to you? Is it going to Phoenix, Arizona, where it's 112 degrees today? Like how is it getting, you know what I mean? Like how is it getting shipped to you? Where is it getting shipped from? How are they testing it? If I had the choice, that was one of the questions between Ozempic for type 2 diabetes, and if you don't have type 2 diabetes, then WEGOVY, versus Mounjaro. What would I do? Mounjaro, statistically speaking, with the data is slightly higher than Ozempic and WEGOVY, but studies are coming out that longer term, it's actually the same. But right, for a shorter term, Mounjaro performs higher because it has 3 receptors versus WEGOVY and Ozempic that have 2 receptors. So there's more Zuzu's petals with it, which is why I went with Mounjaro. We already talked about when to take Mounjaro. Afternoon, or a lot of people take it on Thursday or Friday. So then they have over the weekend that weight loss suppression or side effects over the weekend. For me, I'd rather have it during the week because on the weekend I want to be present for my family and not be like in my bed. And with the way that our child care works too with my 7-year-old and things like that, like him being at camp or school or things like that, it's helpful. Let's see here. I'm just looking through questions. Someone says, how much weight should I lose after 16 weeks on Mounjaro? That's a good question. Well, doctors would tell us 1 to 2 pounds per week is healthy. So times that, so 16 pounds to 32 pounds, but do not listen to other people. Put your own blinders on. Put your own blinders on. Put your own blinders on. I think those are mine. I'm looking to see. Oh, someone did ask, and I thought this was so super sweet. I thought it was so super sweet. They're like, what are your favorite tools for Mounjaro? So I brought them here in the studio because I recently got some new tools that I want to show you guys. Okay, I already mentioned a bunch of my favorites. These are my back to school ones. I am so excited about it. It was my Bentgo Salad containers. You guys know I love a big luxury salad or a big AS salad. It has in here where you put your dressing with a lid here. Then the lettuce goes under here so it doesn't touch. So you can make these in advance. Then you can put your accoutrement in there. It comes with a fork and then there's a top on it, but I just kicked it. And the germphobe in me now has to go clean the whole thing because I kicked it. That's one of my new favorite things. This I got for my son. I ordered a couple of these, and I'm not sponsored by them. I bought them with my own money. It's got the little carrying bag. It comes with a spoon and a fork, but it's a lunchbox. It's a lunchbox. So if you have to go back to the office, it has 4 of these, and they stack. Is this not the coolest lunchbox? So the top part can be sauces, and then they're also insulated. See? Isn't that so cool? I think it's the coolest thing. So my little boy, he spilt it, but that was my fault. I had put an ice pack and the ice pack exploded. It was like ice in a Ziploc baggie. So I got to get circular ice packs that are this size. That was on my order today. Speaking of which, things that were on sale today on my Amazon Deals of the Day page, L'Oreal lipstick and lip gloss and Maybelline lipstick and lip gloss. I will link that down below, as was, what was the other thing? Oh, was these earbuds. They're like $14 and some change. Now prices are subject to change, but if you do need earbuds, oh my gosh, I just almost just threw it in your face. I love it that much that I almost just oh my goodness. And that means that the show's almost over. Now, the other thing that I love too are my tumblers. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I always do, what tumbler do I pick today? And I have a whole tumbler rotation system that I am obsessed with to help make my water, because then I'm not eating. I got to make stuff fun. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's the other thing to make it fun was my meal planner. It's like the journal to write your meal plan on. I'm obsessed. And I got new pens. I will also put those in the description link below. I am obsessed with those too. So, this was here. Some of you guys have asked, do I like things like Fitbits? And I certainly do. I ended up buying an Oura ring. I do not have it on right now because I wanted to wear this ring, and I need to charge it and the battery's dead. Oura rings are awesome. They're amazing. They do your like biorhythms, your sleep. You can tell your menstrual cycle when you're, I'm not sure if it's when you're fertile, but for sure when your period's coming. Like, it's really smart. Your heart rate tells you a lot of data. I'm obsessed with it. And this sounds so bougie, but it's hear the bouge and get past the bouge, and then you can hear about it. So you can buy one that's like gold or silver from Oura, O-U-R-A. I'll link it down on the description link below. And you'll notice mine's black. I ended up buying the Gucci one, but for Gucci, it was a lifetime subscription with Oura, and you still get updates with it too. Cost benefit analysis as an economist daughter. If you do the monthly subscription with Oura for like the the gold or the silver, it's actually more if you used it for 2 years or 3 years straight. So this is actually paid. I forget how many years I've had it now. It's paid for itself by buying it outright from Gucci versus like the monthly subscription with Aura. And I like it's water resistant, so I can wear it in like, I think I wear it in the shower. I can't remember. I haven't been swimming in a hot second. I need to do that. In our paid group, I was like, oh, I'm going to go swimming. I need to do that. So if my paid group members are watching, tell me in the paid group chat. I need to hold myself accountable. I love that group, by the way. That will be linked down in the description too, of where it's, we have like daily chats. It's amazing. And it helps really keep focus too, because a focused mind does great things. Here at Countess of Shopping, we do something special where I tell you emojis, and that's how I know that you've made it this far in the video, that you've watched it this far. This week's emoji is going to be a camera. Put that emoji down below, or a video camera or a camera. That's how I know, and I will pray over you. I will send you positive energy. I love, you guys know me, but this is how I get to know you. Just put the emoji down in the comments, and what action are you going to take today to move you closer to your goals? I want to know. Put it out there. Put it out into the ether by saying it. It helps to make a neural pathway too by saying it out of your mouth. What is mine? If I'm going to ask you to do it, I need to make it mine. Mine is, what is mine? Oh, now I feel on the spot. I didn't prepare this. Now I'm nervous. What is mine? I want to get back into meditating. I've been doing my meditations. That helps my mindset and calm. Like not having food, there's this, oh, this was one of the questions I didn't answer. Not having food, for me, there's a grieving process that came with not having food. And there's now an underlying anxiety that still has continued to be there now many months in, that I'm actively working with a therapist and a trauma therapist. Some of y'all know my story, but there's a lot. There's a reason why I was binge eating. And to heal that, which I feel like I have healed a lot of it, but there's still more. And so there's this underlying anxiety that continues when I don't have food, even this many, a half a year later, which is amazing, more than that. That I want to, and I know meditation for me, prayer meditation helps to lower that anxiety. And so I really want to work on that this week. Feel free to call me out on it. If you see me on social and be like, how's meditation going? So put down below your emoji. And if you want all of my free resources, they're also linked all in the description link below. You can check out my free meal plan ideas, the 27 ones, the Mounjaro side effect, whole video just on that, whole video just on the shortage, there's whole videos just on collagen, how I bought 9 collagens and I tested them, like all of that stuff. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Love ya. Mean it. See you soon. Bye guys.